Good morning. How are you feeling?
You're here about Daddy, aren't you?
Yes.
The marshal delivered these this morning. Papers asking that you be declared mentally incompetent.
He can't do that, can he?
He can try.
I'm fine.
Your competency or a lack of it is not the immediate issue.
Your father has succeeded in restraining the hospital from releasing you as planned.
But you said that I'm well enough to leave here.
Believe me, Mrs. Mason, we want you out of here as much as you want.
So how much longer?
Until psychiatric testing is completed per instructions by the court.
Dr. Feldman can just tell them that I'm competent.
Your father will hire his own psychiatrist.
You mean another psychiatrist?
An outside opinion.
No! I just can't take it anymore!
Come in.
Is Mr. Dunbar in?
Oh, I'm sorry. He's on vacation. May I help you? I'm Jeannie Greeley. Mr. Dunbar is the partner.
You're a lawyer?
Yes, and you are?
Oh, Russ Weaver.
Please, sit down, Mr. Weaver. Tell me how I can be of assistance.
Listen, maybe I better wait for Mitch to get back, huh?
Oh, I'm handling all his cases.
Okay. This might sound kind of strange. I need to find out if I'm married or not.
Let me guess. It was a wild party on a moonlit night.
More like a wild ride on a nightmare.
Forgive me for my insensitivity. You must be deeply hurt.
It's none of the man, if that's what you're thinking.
I really don't know what it is until you tell me.
Well, Becky and I were married, we thought. A little town about 40 miles from here, a place called Wakesfield. It was in the middle of the night by some guy who called himself a justice of the peace.
What do you mean you thought?
Well, recently somebody had found out that the guy's commission had expired.
Therefore, you're not legally married. Was that someone your wife?
No, not my wife. It's my mother. She's been kind of hounding to break us up since the beginning.
If you already know you're not legally married, how can I help?
Well, there's a good chance that my mother's lying.
No offense, but she sounds like
She
a real
is, and
tough.
she couldn't have picked a worse time to bring this whole thing up. We've been going through some kind of rough spots, Becky and I.
Becky's not sure she wants to make the marriage legal.
Oh, no. She's sure. She doesn't.
I'm sorry.
Don't be for me. I feel the same way.
I mean, you don't want her back?
No, of course not. I don't want her back. Not if she doesn't want me. It wouldn't work, right? Besides, she's off chasing some fantasies of dreams of fame and fortune. All I need to know is if I need a divorce or not.
Well, wouldn't it be a twist if I found out you two were really married? It just might do wonders for your relationship.
Oh, I doubt that. You see, if I've learned anything from all of this, it's that it takes more than just a piece of paper to make a marriage.
Call me.
Yeah.
You know, son, I get the distinct impression that you don't want to go back to school, and is something bothering you?
I don't want to face everybody. I'm ashamed.
Of what, Jimmy?
Taking the money, running away.
Jimmy, are you afraid of those boys that threatened you? Jimmy, you can't live in fear. Now, running from the problem doesn't solve it. I thought you learned that when you ran away.
But, Dad, it's hard.
I know, son, but doing what's right is often more difficult than copping out. But in the long run, it's better. I mean, your self-respect is worth it. Now, did running away make the problem go away? Did it make you feel better?
No.
And it never does. You see, facing failure sometimes is harder than facing the problem itself. I want you to lift that head up high and you look everyone straight in the eye and live this thing down. Okay?
I'll try.
Huh?
I'll try.
All right. And if those boys give you any more problem, you let me know. Here. And stealing's a cop-out, too. You tell me one thing. Why didn't you come to me before?
Well, I wanted to, but you and Mom were arguing about her singing. And I didn't want to cause another problem and make her leave again.
Mr. Carpenter is upset with Miriam because she's refused to move back home with him and Nancy. It was Miriam's decision, but I know that he blames me. He can't understand her newfound independence.
So he accuses her of mental incompetence.
As a friend, I've encouraged Miriam, and I've even tried to help her find a place to stay.
Terry, if you don't talk Miriam into fighting this suit, She could end up in an institution for the rest of her life.
You think Mr. Carpenter has a case?
Come on, you know as well as I do that he doesn't play fair when he wants something.
Do you believe Miriam is mentally incompetent?
You said earlier that Miriam had been through a lot. Now, her mental and emotional state is still very fragile. But no, she's not mentally incompetent.
Is that Dr. Thompson's opinion also?
Yes.
Then she has nothing to worry about.
Well, it's not that simple.
A court-appointed psychiatrist, handpicked and paid for by Carpenter, will examine Miriam to determine her competency.
Are you saying his judgment would be biased?
That's a good possibility.
And Miriam is so tired of setbacks, she's just given up.
Then you think that I can talk her into fighting back?
It's her only hope. And you're the only one she might listen to.
I take it you two know each other.
We bump into each other on occasion. What's he doing here?
That's privileged information.
Yeah, he's probably here to get alimony from his wife. My sister told me they split up. That's it, isn't it?
Ask your sister.
Well, maybe I will. He's bad news, you know.
You better concentrate on your own problems. The county prosecutor wants an answer.
Well, what's the question?
The question is whether or not you're going to plead guilty or innocent to the DUI charge.
And my options?
Plead guilty, pay a $500 fine, and lose your license for 90 days.
Great. How about innocent?
We probably fight a losing battle, in which you'll probably pay a larger fine and go to jail.
Great. Is that the best you can do?
Considering your driving record, it's not too bad.
And considering the county prosecutor hates my old man, explains the short end of the stick. Oh, man. Okay. I'll plead guilty.
At least you've done one right thing today.
Miriam? I know you're awake.
Go away.
I can't. I care about you.
Nobody cares. Not even me.
It's not as bad as you think.
I'm crazy, haven't you heard?
No, you're not. Your father's just saying you're mentally incompetent because he doesn't understand.
No,
He's
he
hurt.
believes it.
Do you believe it?
I don't know. I've heard when you're crazy, you don't even know it.
Dr. Thompson and Ben don't think you are.
Well, Daddy thinks they're incompetent, too.
Don't let him do this to you, Miriam. You're getting better, not worse.
I was only kidding myself. To think that I could make it on my own, to think I could start a new life.
No, you're wrong. You can do it.
Oh, Daddy, he always gets his way. I should just be a good little girl and do just what Daddy wants.
That would have been mental incompetency. Now, you know it's crazy to move back with Nancy.
All I know is that I'm confused. And I'm tired. I'm just very tired.
It's not how you were feeling yesterday. You were hopeful and happy.
It's no use. Why don't I just let them put me away? And I won't be a burden to anybody anymore.
Only Nancy could see you now. You're right where she wants you, weak, defeated.
Nancy has nothing to do with this.
Who do you think manipulated your father into stopping you from leaving this hospital? Or any hospital? You don't think it was his idea? Nancy has done everything she can to get you out of his life and out of her way. Everything from encouraging your drug addiction to trying to kill. But this time, you've given up fighting. You've given up the struggle.
Nancy?
With you safely tucked away in a mental hospital, she's got your father all to herself and his money. There's no telling what she's got planned for the future with you out of the picture.
No, I'm gonna let her do that.
Well, there's not a thing you can do about it locked away somewhere. Besides, who'll believe a crazy woman?
Nancy's the crazy one.
Then why are you letting her get away with this? You've got to fight back. You've got to prove to your father that Nancy's wrong. You are competent. You're more competent than she is.
I will. I will! Thank you. Thank you, Terry. Yes, Mr. Webster.
Oh, call me Harold.
Thank you for coming.
Well, your message sounded kind of urgent.
Well, yes, because the papers to have me declared mentally incompetent arrived today. And I can't leave the hospital, and I have to be tested by another psychiatrist.
I could have told you about all that last night. I didn't want to load you up with too much all at one time.
Well, it was quite a shock, but I'm better now.
I'm sorry that you have to contend with all this.
But I've decided that I'm going to fight back, and I'd like you to help me.
You want to hire me as your defense attorney?
Yes.
Well, as much as I'd like that, I can't. It's conflict of interest.
Why? You said you refused to handle the case for Daddy.
Yeah, rare case of nobility. I don't like what they're doing to you.
Well, you know that Nancy's involved with this, don't you?
Who else? I can't tell you how much I'd like to put her in her place. I mean, expose her for what she really is. But I got too much to lose. Charles is my biggest client, and he's already upset with me for not handling this for him.
Yeah, I see.
You haven't told him about me trying to find your mother, have you?
No.
Well, don't do that. That won't make him very happy either, especially not with what I've got to tell him. Hey, I'm not the only good attorney in the area.
Well, I don't know, or I don't trust anyone else.
You leave it to me. I'll find somebody for you.
That was not the only thing going on either.
I like business luncheons like that.
I can see that you did. Unfortunately, most of our material reps aren't that young or handsome.
Yeah. Hi, Gil.
Get off of there.
Hello. Long lunch, huh?
Oh,
Not long enough.
I think the sis would have bought anything that fellow was selling. We looked for you to go to lunch, couldn't find you.
Oh, I had some business to take care of. Hey, Dad, I need to talk to you.
Should I leave?
Well, you're gonna find out anyway. Might as well stay. I need an advance to pay that fine.
How much?
500.
Well, half the docket from your pay.
Well, that's what an advance is, Dad.
You know, I hope you've learned your lesson on this, Gil. Careless driving when you're drinking is costly, in dollars and lives.
Yeah, but how costly depends on whether you're a Democrat or Republican, or if your father's in politics.
Nah, you brought it on yourself.
Oh.
And it could have been a lot more costly than the fine.
It was. I also lost my license for 90 days.
No?
Oh, well. I need a ride over to the hospital. Thank you. All right. Bye, Dad. Thanks.
Hey, now I'm paying for his mistakes.
Come on.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, you expecting the milkman?
Looks like I got the whole cow.
Huh? Prime rib.
See, you've lost some weight there, Harold.
Oh, you noticed, huh?
Oh, never mind. I just found it. It moved to your fat mouth.
You think you're so funny. I guess Charles isn't here, huh?
Well, do you see him?
I preferred telling him the news so I wouldn't have to see you so happy.
You resigning as his attorney?
No way.
You know, you're just lucky that Charles didn't fire you for not handling that incompetency case. Too complicated for your dime store degree?
I do have principles, even after dealing with you. Miriam is perfectly...
I know exactly where Miriam is. She's out of my hair, thank you.
Don't be so sure.
Look, why don't you just state your business and get lost, Harold?
The state divorce law was amended. The waiting period now in cases of desertion has been reduced to 6 months.
Well, but Helen must have been gone 6 months by now. Well, that means we could get married this month.
Yeah, the poor sucker.
Oh, admit it, Harold. You're just jealous of Charles. You've always wanted me.
It was my good fortune that I was neither rich enough nor old enough for you. Besides that, I got a good heart, strong heart.
What's that supposed to mean?
You don't fool me. You hold your breath every time Charles has a chest pain.
That's just because I don't want anything to happen to
Not
him.
before the wedding. But I bet you got one heart-throbbing honeymoon plan.
Good day, Harold.
It was. Till I saw you. I hated to leave on such a friendly note. I just want to let you know that you will not get away with it.
Charles and I do is our business.
I'm talking about what you're doing to Miriam. I'll do everything in my power to help her.
Lori! Hey,
Russ!
I was kind of hoping I'd see you here.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right, you know.
Have you heard anything from Becky?
Only what I read in the papers. She did a couple of concerts in Atlanta. Both sold out.
I'm sorry, Russ.
Oh, well, you win a few, you lose a few.
Sorry about med school, too.
Well, working here should be a good filler until I'm accepted. I hope. How are things going for you?
I have a teaching position.
Hey, that's great.
It's night school, but it'll do until a better position's available.
Well, it looks like we're both waiting for better things, huh?
I know better things are ahead for you, Russ.
Maybe you're right. I'm on my way down to personnel right now. Your mom told me about a job opening, so what the heck. Assistant to the administrator. Better than being an orderly, I guess.
I'm really glad for you.
You know, Lori, I really made a tragic mistake. I should have never broken up with you.
It's a beautiful day outside.
Uh-huh. Daddy.
Brought you some candy.
I'll take that.
I beg your pardon.
All edible gifts must be examined before being given to this patient.
Well, I never.
It's a new rule, as of this morning.
How are you feeling?
Very sane, thank you. Is the candy a peace offering?
Sort of. Mim, I'm really doing this for your own good.
Daddy, I'm not going to sit back and let you and Nancy ruin my life.
And I am not going to sit back and watch you ruin your own.
But I can make it on my own.
There you go, disregarding reason again.
I've never been more reasonable.
You almost killed yourself, and may I remind you that I was the one who suggested you go out and try it on your own. But I cannot stand idly by now and watch you destroy yourself on drugs simply because you can't cope with life's pressures alone.
I'm through with drugs.
Until your first disappointment. I'm sorry, Mim, but you mean too much to me, and I just can't take that chance.
So you think I'd be better off in a mental hospital?
Mim, this hurts me deeply to have to do. And don't think I don't blame myself. You are what I made you.
And you are what Nancy is making you.
Now, don't blame our problems on Nancy.
Not all of them, but almost all, most of them.
That sounds a little bit like Terry Davidson talking.
Believe it or not, Terry prays for Nancy. I'm not so forgiving. I hate her.
Miriam.
I hate Nancy for what she's done to me, and I hate her for what she's doing to you.
She is the best friend you have. She took care of you when you couldn't take care of yourself.
Daddy, there's so much that you don't know. You see, she has never been a friend to me. She just used me to get to you.
Miriam, you are still jealous of her.
I'm not. See, it's your money. It's all she wanted was your money. She just wanted to get rid of me so she could get all of your money.
You are underestimating her love for me.
You are underestimating her greed and what she'll do because of it.
You're just not making sense.
Daddy, just think of this. She's gone to great lengths, remember, to swindle her mother's house from Terry, and she is going to great lengths to try to separate me from you.
And now you're talking paranoia.
And who do you think supplied me with all that medicine, as Nancy called it?
Miriam, she just picked up a few prescriptions for you.
It was hundreds, Daddy.
You are confusing Nancy with Norman Elliott.
Norman was just another one of Nancy's victims. He tried warning you, but you wouldn't listen to him.
Nancy tried to stop him from giving you more drugs.
Okay, so how do you think I got those pills to overdose in the hospital? And who sent me those flowers?
You think Nancy did that?
Well, my memory hasn't returned yet, but yes, I'm sure it was Nancy. Daddy, she came to visit me the day the flowers arrived. It was a very strange visit. She kept insisting that I tell her what I had told Detective Lasky.
But that was just because of her concern for you.
No, she wasn't concerned. She was afraid that I remembered that she gave me those pills for the overdose.
Those are very serious accusations.
And there's more.
Well, I don't want to hear
There is more. All the cruel things she told me. She was telling me that you didn't really love me all along and all these things.
I think I'm going to come back when you're feeling a little better.
Daddy, she's just trying to destroy you
Charles, I have the greatest news.
I could use some good news.
Guess what? We could get married in 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah, Webster just dropped by. It turns out that the law for desertion has just been changed. It used to be a year's waiting, and now it's 6 months waiting, which means we can get married in 2 weeks.
Well, is Harold sure?
Well, he wouldn't joke about something like that. Isn't this exciting?
Well, yes, I'm excited about it. I'm a little surprised, that's all.
Well, listen, we'll have to make honeymoon reservations as soon as possible, but why don't we discuss it over dinner?
Wait a minute. Not so fast. Hollister Mall is at a crucial point.
Well, Webster can take care of that. Are you all right, Charles?
Oh, I feel fine.
hard?
I feel fine.
Well, listen, 2 weeks isn't a lot of time to put together a wedding, but I'm sure I can do it.
What about Miriam?
Well, what about her? She's in safe hands. And I can take your mind off of Miriam.